Hi, so this is Sean. So I thought I'd make a video of my 10 essential items that I love and I can't live without. They're not like necessarily the most meaningful items in the world, but they're items that I use all the time or I love or are like part of my day-to-day life and my identity as a person. The reason that I'm making this video is because I like watching them. I think it's interesting when I think the main ones that are on YouTube are for GQ. So you get like celebrities doing them and footballers and musicians and things like that. It's always quite interesting, what they pick. Often it isn't, so I apologise if mine isn't. But I think you can tell a lot about somebody by what kind of things they choose to spend their money on. And it's another video really, but it's not necessarily supposed to be like a bastion to consumerism and me promoting these products necessarily. It's just like I said, I genuinely find them interesting to watch when I watch them. And some of the items I must admit are pretty mundane, so I apologise about that. So the first one is skincare and smellies. Should we say aftershave? It's not really aftershave, but eau de toilette. I wear Dior Eau Sauvage, and there's no particular reason for that. I do like the way it smells, but pretty much all perfume smells nice. That's the point of it, surely. And my sense of smell is not amazing, so it's not like I can tell the difference. I probably would be able to tell this scent if someone was wearing it. I read once that Steve McQueen wore it, which obviously that makes me like Steve McQueen. But yeah, it smells nice. I like it. It's kind of like a fresh scent, and it's like summer. Makes me think of summer. And like it. Also skincare. I'm kind of obsessed with skincare, which is probably pretty random, but it's because I've got bad skin, and I've got a fear of getting older as well. So I try to not, which is obviously not worked. I have skin problems as well. So I've got like literally this massive, humongous bag with like loads of skincare products in it. And probably the brands that I most use is like Kiehl's or Elemis. To be perfectly honest with you, I haven't noticed any difference based on using the skincare, but maybe I'd look like a complete zombie if I didn't use it, so you never know. Someone once told me that you'll notice in 10 years even if you don't notice now. And I am 72, so I probably look quite good for my age. Secondly, a watch. Obviously, this is a watch YouTube channel, and I wear a watch every day, and I like wearing them. They're good. Today I'm wearing a 90s Swatch. It's really cool. It's really good condition, this as well, just considering it's like 30 years old and it's plastic. But yeah, I always wear a watch, and I love Swatches at the moment. And it's probably the best one I've got, I would say, in terms of how it's vintage and it's a bit interesting, I think. My favourite is the Swatch Clear at the moment, but it's another story. Thirdly, a wallet. So, not very interesting, but yeah, what I carry around. It's Louis Vuitton. I've had it for ages, and yeah, I like it. It's quite small, and it doesn't fit that much in, which is sometimes awful because I tend to keep receipts, and then it gets really big, and then I have to throw them away. But I know Louis Vuitton is kind of a basic brand, and it's so popular that it's kind of it's not very hipster, is it, to like Louis Vuitton? But I like the brand. I think it's cool, and I'm a Francophile as well, so I kind of like the history of it, and I like the design of the what's it called, damier graphite canvas or whatever it's called. Yeah. Fourth thing is a pair of headphones. So I listen to a lot of music. I have a problem, I think, based on how much music I listen to. So I've probably got headphones in my ears or on my head 4 hours, 5 hours a day, which is really pretty bad. But I have a couple of pairs of decent headphones, and if they broke, I would immediately buy more. Like, they're an essential for me. Obviously, this video is supposed to be essential items, but these are literally an essential. And I think it's worth the money buying expensive headphones. So I mean, not that expensive, obviously, but I've got 2 decent pairs of Bose Sound Sport. It's actually not that expensive. I think these were less than £100. Second time I bought them. The first time I put them in the washing machine, and they broke, obviously. I think these might be discontinued, but they're good for, like, obviously sports. I can't wear AirPods because they literally fall out my ears every 10 seconds, which would be really frustrating. But the sound's really good, and there's a cable, and you can clip them to the back of your top or t-shirt or whatever. So if they do fall out your ears, they don't fall to the ground. And these are the sound is really good, actually. For in-ear headphones that are relatively affordable. And then the second pair is Sony WH whatever. I don't know the exact serial number. I think these are an old model, actually. So they're on the 5 now, and these are the 3. But when I was buying these, I basically read loads of reviews, and it said that these were the best that you could buy for the kind of price, and they're about £300 or something like that. So quite a lot of money for a pair of headphones. And these are brilliant. The noise cancelling's really good, and they sound really good. And think about buying the Apple ones like next, which are about £550, but apparently they're really amazing. But these are really good headphones, so I recommend them. And then fifth thing is a bag, and it's not very glamorous as a bag, and it's not very grown up either, because I'm 39 years old. But this is my bag. Fjallraven Kanken. So I chose a bag deliberately, so I would look like a 13-year-old girl. But yeah, I mean, it's practical, it's hard wearing, and I do think they look cool, actually. Again, they're really ubiquitous, Fjallraven Kankens. This particular one is like, you can expand it at the back, so it's got a zip, and it's thinner, but then when you unzip it, it gets thicker, and it's got a laptop thing in the back. It's also quite good for like traveling and weekends away and things like that, because it's quite big. I've had it for a few years now, and it's, they age pretty well. I'm not sure whether I would call it patina, but they release on their marketing spiel for Fjallraven that some people have still got them from the 70s, the originals that were released, and I could believe that, because mine's had all sorts of nonsense over it, and yeah, it still works. I would quite like a designer leather backpack, but like £1,000-2,000 for something like that, and I think people would think I was mental if I bought one. And maybe something a little bit more grown up, but the idea of carrying a bag like that and doesn't really appeal to me. So the practicality of putting it on the back, even though it makes me look like a schoolboy, I guess. I like it. I like the bag. I think it's cool. Then number 6 is a phone. So this is my phone. I'm reading my notes from it. And you know what? I don't even know that. I think it's the iPhone 12 Pro Max. It's like 2 generations old at the moment, but it's really, really good phone. I think the best thing about this phone related to the other one that I had last, which was the 10, is the camera is really good, and you can take quite good macro photographs and video with a phone, which is amazing. I use it for a lot of stuff. I use it for work related stuff, and filming stuff for this channel, and recording little voice memos and stuff like that for myself, and recording notes and watching videos, and everything that you would imagine that somebody would do with their phone. Phones are really, really expensive now, and I did actually break one recently, so I had to go out and buy this phone, and I bought it outright, and they're so expensive. If they get any more expensive, I'm just gonna have to quit buying phones. But anyway, yeah, phone, it's absolutely essential. People to contact you, but also other stuff nowadays. Seventh is the laptop, and I cannot show you that because it is here in front of me. It's a MacBook Pro. It's a good laptop. I do like Apple products. I know back in the day, Apple were the kind of sticking it to the man against Microsoft, and now they're not, and they're expensive, and they're ubiquitous and kind of boring in the fact that they're so popular. But I do like the products. I think they're designed well. I think the user experience when you use one of their products is really good. And yeah, I like them. Again, very expensive. It's an essential though, isn't it? You need a computer nowadays, and might as well buy a decent one. Number 8 is something related to Peanuts. It's a bit random, but I've always liked Peanuts comics and Charlie Brown, and I think it's because I am a loser like Charlie Brown, so I empathise with him. But it's it's more than that. Obviously, it's a historical document, and it's there's lots of people who read into Peanuts comics and the philosophy behind it and things like that. But I think at heart, it's just because it's well drawn and it's cool and it's funny, and also another thing is I have a son, so I want him to. Well, I don't want him necessarily, but I want to nurture him to be into good things, and it's something that's appropriate for children, that we can share. So this is the very first collection, the Peanuts collection, 1950 to 1952. So yeah, this is one thing. I've got tons of stuff with Peanuts on it. It's a bit sad, really, being a middle-aged man, but yeah, what can you do? And then I just put books, films, culture. I think I've got to try and change it, really, but most of my hobbies and activities are relatively solitary things. So reading, though, to be honest, I don't read as much as I used to because I just haven't really been had the headspace recently. But so I just brought a couple of things. So book that I'm reading at the moment, Emile Zola, Jeremy Now. I've been reading it for ages, and I'm only like halfway through it, but it's good. It's about miners, and it's about socialism essentially. And two of my favourite books of all time, Catcher in the Rye, probably tells you more about me than anything else. Lucky Jim by Kingsley Amis. I actually got this free with Esquire magazine when I was on holiday in France, but I've read it like 10 times. This isn't the original copy. It just so happened that I was on holiday and I found it and I read it. But I really recommend it. It's really funny. It's not in any way heavy. It's really, really funny. Kingsley Amis is one of my favourite writers. And also film. Really into French cinema. I'm a Francophile. Had to have something French on the list as well because, I speak quite good French, and I'm really passionate about French culture. And this is The Adventures of Antoine Doinel. Antoine Doinel was a character created by Francois Truffaut. his kind of alter ego, and this is a collection of the films. It's really good, funny and interesting, and not too heavy. And yeah, and then very very last thing is, as I've mentioned with the headphones, I'm really musical. So a plectrum. Obviously, I use this to play guitar, and I've always played guitar since I was about 12 or 13. So it's something that's been part of my life for as long as I can remember. And I've been through tons and tons of guitars, and I'm always going to have one, because it's not, as well as, you know, I like to write music and play guitar, but I don't play in front of people. It's just purely for me, and it's purely an end in itself, playing guitar. I don't do it for any reason. I've got a really good guitar. I mean, I've got a Gibson Hummingbird, and I think hopefully I'm going to keep that forever and pass it on to my son, because it's something that's going to age well, and it's something for him to remember me by and things like that. But yeah, so those are my 10 essential items. Hope you enjoyed the video. It's a bit of a ramble really, but I think videos like this are quite interesting, because what the reason that I have a YouTube channel really is to share with people and to share part of myself with people who are interested. And I think you can tell a lot about people by the things that they choose to possess, and not in a kind of superficial way. You know, obviously we all might have items in our cupboard or in our wardrobe, whatever, that are not really that important to us, but all of these things tell you quite a lot about who I am as a person. So yeah, so tell me in the comments what your 10 essentials would be, and what you think of mine, though don't be mean, because I will be upset. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.